We don't have any information on
We don't have any
Okay.
information. You go to control.
Part of the responsibilities of being a business owner is to be curious
Have you seen those cute little tents they put sometimes in front of a business?
and know how to ask the right questions to build a plan.
Usually everybody else knows a lot more, and if you just ask great questions, then everything kind of goes in the right direction.
Nina Corcoran Newcomb and her husband own a Denver business
It's the VO Med Spa in Lowry.
in a location that means so much to her.
That is the last remaining Lowry Chapel for the Lowry Air Force Base. It's just really weird to me that my business is in the parking lot of the chapel he probably went to. This picture is in the old Lowry Air Force Base.
Is her great uncle Robert Francis Corcoran,
Great Uncle Robert was in the Battle of Anzio.
who served in the U.S. Army Air Forces in World War II.
He was a gunner. The plane he was in was badly damaged by German fire.
Last Memorial Day, I interviewed Nina at her home to talk about the questions she had about her great uncle.
And so the pilot told them to parachute out. And we know this because the pilot survived and went to my great-grandparents' house to let them know what happened. The other gunner landed in friendly territory, and very sadly, my great-uncle Robert flew into or was blown into enemy territory and was killed by the Germans. And we know that because a German officer went above and beyond, and he drew a map of where he buried my great-uncle Robert, and he didn't have to do that. And because of that map, we have hope to find him.
Nina says after the war, the U.S. Army Air Forces looked for her great uncle, but in the wrong direction, and never found his remains.
So the family always said, oh yeah, Uncle Bobby died, it's so sad, and then everybody would just get really quiet. And then if you try to ask a question, you just feel like this thickness and this sadness in there where it was maybe you shouldn't ask any questions. There are 80,000 missing in action from World War II. Like, there are 80,000 of me out there that maybe they probably don't know. I think people don't think about it.
But 3 years ago, Nina did some digging and started her own plan to find the answers she was looking for.
I found a memorial with his name on it in Italy. And that's like the first piece of any information that this generation had on him. And then I was like, wait a minute, so he died and nobody knows where he's at. I'm like, that means he's MIA. And so I put in Robert Francis Corcoran into Google and then plus MIA. And it was like, I mean, everything, like just so much information.
Information
The specific team that I work on largely does work in the Mediterranean and North Africa.
that led her to Josh Frank.
So Italy is my main country. I largely work in Italy over everywhere else.
Frank is a research analyst and field investigator for the Defense POW MIA Accounting Agency, or DPAA, a Department of Defense agency that finds missing service members from past conflicts from World War II through today.
I do the research heading into a mission, going to the National Archives, pouring through records, getting an idea of where we want to look. And then I carry that over by actually going to the field and looking for sites, whether that's a plane crash or a burial.
Because of that map, we were able to work with DPAA and my brother and his friend who were also in the military and zoom in on the actual piece of land in the right place after he was has been missing for, it's going to be 79 years this March.
But Frank says the landowner had some questions of her own.
There are lots of reasons that a foreign landowner would not want the U.S. government or anybody on their land, right? The same as an American would. And we've got her to say yes, and we're working with her to get the permits through the Italian archaeologies and largely archaeology authorities, and largely figure out when the best time to do it that's least impactful on the business that she has there.
It's just a few cars over.
Now Nina hopes the next step in her strategy will get her closer than across the parking lot.
I'm just so excited and nervous, and I hope that they find him. I really do.
To answering lifelong questions and to bringing home her great uncle, Robert Francis Corcoran.
He's been missing in action, and his mom died, and his dad died, and my grandfather died, and his brother died, and my dad died, and he hasn't come home yet.
4/9 News.
But there's a higher chance that he's still there, just waiting for us to bring him home.
I'm Byron Reed.
You certainly hope that is successful. It's astounding to me that that German officer, an enemy, took the time to make that map.
Yeah.
That map that certainly is the key to trying to find Robert Francis Corcoran. Hopefully they will. Over the summer, Robert Corcoran did receive the Purple Heart. His family was in attendance, and that includes Nina.
Yeah, as you heard in the story, Byron Reed has been following this family's process of bringing home their great uncle since May, and he will continue to follow it with all the updates. We know he's done a great job so far. We're feeling good things about this one and the outcome.